Hi viewers, welcome to Sansad TV. You're watching the news with me, Rashika. Let's take a look at the latest happenings on the international and national front. But first, the headlines of the day. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Indore. Urges Indian diaspora to play a strong role as brand ambassadors. Says world looking to India with great hope and expectations. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting issues advisory for television channels, expresses concern over coverage of accidents and incidents of violence, advises strict adherence to program code. Hearing on Joshimat case petition in the Supreme Court on Tuesday, work of shifting people from danger zone to relief camp continues. Centre holds a high-level review meeting. Dense fog increases difficulties amid severe cold in North India, including Delhi. Impacts road, rail and air traffic. 30 flights delayed, over 250 trains cancelled. And world community condemns attack on democratic institutions in Brazil after supporters of former President Bolsonaro target parliament and presidential palace. Prime Minister Modi says democratic traditions should be respected. A quick look at important news in our flash segment. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal appeals to Indian diaspora in US to shape contours of New India. Union Minister Jitendra Singh releases National Science Day 2023 theme, Global Science for Global Well-being. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan reviews PARIKSHA Pe CHARCHA 2023 preparations on 27th of January in Delhi. Working group reviews G20 meeting on education from 31st January to 2nd February in Chennai. New measure focusing on value of healthcare services rather than volume under Ayushman Pradhan, Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana introduced. TV sets to soon have inbuilt tuners for all free-to-air DD channels instead of set-top box. INB Ministry cautions all television channels against broadcasting disturbing footage and distressing images after recent instances. Pradhan Mantri National Apprenticeship MELA in 242 districts, Class 5 to Class 12 pass-outs, ITI diploma holders and graduates eligible to apply. Iranian authorities prepare to execute 2 more anti-government protesters. Dozens of people demonstrate outside Rajashahar jail against decision. Indian squash prodigy Anahat Singh clinches girl under 15 squash title at British Junior Open tournament in Birmingham. Now news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called upon the Pravasi Bharatiyas to strengthen India's unique global vision and its important role in the global order. Speaking after inaugurating the 17th edition of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas Convention in Madhya Pradesh's Indore, Prime Minister called them the brand ambassadors of India on foreign soil. He said that they are the brand ambassadors for yoga, Ayurveda, cottage industry, handicrafts and also millets. Prime Minister also said that Pravasi Bharatiyas have a significant place in India's journey in the Amrit Kal of the next 25 years.
Entered the Amrit Kal of the next 25 years. Our Pravasi Bharatiyas have significant place in this journey. India's unique global vision and its important role in the global order will be strengthened by you people. सभी प्रवासी भारतीयों को विदेशी धरती पर भारत का राष्ट्रदूत, ब्रांड एम्बेसडर कहता हूं। मेरा आग्रह है कि आपके पास कल्चरल और स्पिरिचुअल जानकारी के साथ साथ भारत की प्रगति की अपडेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए।
Prime Minister Modi said that India has the capability of becoming the skill capital, which can become the engine of development of the world. India's G20 presidency is a big opportunity to tell the world about the country. He said the opportunity will be converted into a historic event of public participation.
आज भारत की आवाज, भारत का संदेश, भारत की कही बात एक अलग ही मायने रखती है। भारत की ये बढ़ती है ताकत आने वाले दिनों में और ज्यादा बढ़ने वाली है। भारत दुनिया के G20 समूह की अध्यक्षता भी कर रहा है। भारत इस जिम्मेदारी को एक बड़े अवसर के रूप में देख रहा है। हमारे लिए ये दुनिया को भारत के बारे में बताने का अवसर है। ये दुनिया के लिए भारत के अनुभवों से सीखने का, पुराने अनुभवों से सस्टेनेबल फ्यूचर की दिशा तय करने का अवसर है।
Prime Minister Modi also released a commemorative postal stamp on the occasion. President of the Republic of Suriname, Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, was the special guest of honor, and Guyana President Mohamed Irfan Ali was the chief guest at the event.
I see many opportunities for even a closer diaspora cooperation with Indian counterparts in all areas for the next 25 years. And I make use of this opportunity to invite all relevant actors from both sides to sit around the table and explore the new avenues of cooperation.
India is a world leader in developing Pratibha talent and utilizing Pradhan technology, and we look forward to further collaborating in these two areas. With the development of talent and the sharing of technology, India stands way ahead of all others.
Pravasi Bharatiya Sammelan commemorates the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to India in 1950. Gandhi's return to India was prompted by an incident that forced him to rethink race and color prejudices after he was pushed out of a first-class compartment at the Pietermaritzburg station. Our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to David Gangan, who established the Gandhi Foundation in the city of Pietermaritzburg and who is working to keep the memory of the historical incident alive for future generations. Take a look.
There is one Indian in South Africa who is trying to remind people of South Africa about contribution of Mahatma Gandhi in anti-apartheid movement and also his contribution to India's freedom movement. He is Mr. David Dayalan Gangan. He is chairperson of Gandhi Foundation in South Africa and he is here at Pravasi Bharatiya Sammelan in Indore. Mr. David, what brings you here? You have traveled so long from South Africa to here.
Yeah, well, firstly, thank you very much for asking me to say a few words. I always wanted to attend a Pravasi. I've never been able to do that in the past, so it's wonderful to be here amongst the diaspora from around the world.
People here who are coming in Pravasi Bharatiya Sammelan, most of them, talk about technology, about computer, about finance, startup, innovation. Is there anything other than this new scientific and financial thing that connects India with the world or India with Africa?
Yeah, I think India, as the minister said this morning, India is not this backwater country anymore where people beg and those kind of things. India is a technological giant, and I've been through a visit in Delhi where I saw some of the innovations for sanitation, for example, by Dr. Pathak. And so India is taking the lead in a whole range of things, and so yes, technology is an important aspect, but certainly there are other areas where India is showing the way also, to the rest of the world. Yeah.
So that's the great thing, that how India and South Africa grew, and somehow having same lineage, same history, but we are developing in a very different way, but in a democratic culture, in a democratic way. Akhilesh Saman for Sansad TV with camera person Kamaljit in Indore.
The first Global Partnership for Financial Inclusion meeting of the G20 began in Kolkata today. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee also attended the meeting. She said that her government works to give a humane face to the development. The first day of the G20 event featured an exhibition on digital innovations for advancing financial inclusion. Sessions on the role of digital public infrastructure in financial inclusion and productivity gains were also held. The three-day event is also focusing on remittance cost and SME finance availability. 12 international speakers are attending the G20 meeting, including senior officials from the World Bank, Monetary Authority of Singapore, France and Estonia. Unique Identity Authority of India CEO Saurabh Garg and National Payments Corporation of India MD and CEO Dilip Asbe were among those who addressed the sessions today.
We have different organizations who are representing their products, which include Aadhaar, which include UPI, which includes, for example, trade receivables, which includes e-sign and DigiLocker. So the objective is to help how India Stack can be more effectively utilized by different countries, and they can learn, and it's a question of exchange of information so that the people of different countries can benefit.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India's international relations are guided by the very essence of human equality and dignity. He was addressing the Ambassadors' Roundtable on the upcoming Aero India exhibition. Rajnath Singh said that India's efforts towards Make in India are neither isolationist nor are meant for the country alone. He also made an open offer of partnerships with New Delhi for production of various military equipment. He emphasized that India has been working towards enhancing its defense manufacturing capabilities, particularly in the emerging areas of drones, cyber tech, AI, radars and other equipment. The 14th edition of Aero India will be held in Bengaluru from 13th to 17th of February.
We are exporting our defense equipment to our friendly nations. We offer our full support towards the capability development of the buyer through sharing of technology, training, co-production, and so on.
The government has termed the television news coverage of some recent events distasteful and heart-wrenching. The government has asked them to follow the program code laid down under the relevant law. The Ministry of Information and Broadcasting cited the coverage of the cricketer Rishabh Pant's car crash, airing of distressing images of dead bodies and thrashing of a 5-year-old boy, and said such reporting offended good taste and decency. The INB ministry has issued an advisory to all private satellite channels. It also said the broadcasters had taken video clips from social media and made little efforts to edit them to make them compliant and consistent with the spirit of the program code. The ministry has strongly advised television channels to attune their practices of reporting incidents of crime, accidents, violence and death in conformity with the program code laid under the Cable Television Networks Regulation Act. A petition has been filed in the Supreme Court seeking intervention to declare the crisis caused by landslide in Joshimath as a national calamity. The court has called for an urgent hearing of the matter on Tuesday. Meanwhile, experts have detailed the causes that has landed the town in the present crisis situations. Take a detailed look.
India's northern Joshimath should have never grown into a big town, said a New Delhi-based scientist, as several buildings in the hill town developed cracks, making dirty water gush through the crevices and sinking the place. For years, experts have warned that large-scale construction work, including hydropower projects, in and around Joshimath could lead to land subsidence, the sinking or settling of the ground surface.
the whole mountain range, wherever the they are actually not in situ. They are not in position, their position, but they have all slipped from the higher ranges. So obviously, anything which has slipped from its original position will be always unstable. So right in the beginning, when they started people living into that, they were living in a zone which is unstable. And it should not have grown like a big city or big town the way it has become.
Residents of sinking town relocated with their belongings while rescue workers and municipal employees came to their aid to fasten the process. A town of around 17,000 people in northern Uttarakhand state, Joshimath, is a gateway to pilgrimages to Hindu and Sikh shrines and popular with tourists looking to trek parts of Himalayas.
सामान की शिफ्टिंग के लिए जैसे प्रत्येक सेक्टर में सेक्टर ऑफिसर नामित किए गए हैं, उनके साथ एसडीआरएफ की टीम है और साथ में हमने नगर पालिका और राजस्व विभाग से भी स्टाफ हमने अटैच किया है। तो पूरा सामान की शिफ्टिंग ताकि तत्काल रूप से और जल्दी से जल्दी हो, तो सामान शिफ्टिंग में भी हम संपूर्ण सहयोग कर रहे हैं।
Media reports said locals have been protesting government inaction to stop land subsidence and had been flagging the issue for months. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Dense fog has delayed over 100 flights and dozens of trains, causing chaos at airports and railway stations. Authorities in the capital, Delhi, have told schools to extend winter holidays and cancelled classes. The minimum temperature in parts of the city dropped to 1.9 degrees Celsius on Sunday. Here is a report.
Heavy fog across northern India on Monday disrupted trains and a cold wave forced authorities to defer school reopenings a week as visibility fell and cars drove with their hazard lights on.
कुछ भी रास्ते में विजिबिलिटी है नहीं और जब यहाँ पे पहुँचो तो मैक्सिमम ट्रेन जो है वो भी डिले हो रही है। अभी अनाउंसमेंट हो रहा था एक कोई ट्रेन जो है वो कैंसिल हो चुकी है, रद्द कर दी गई है। तो इस तरीके में किसी को अगर इमरजेंसी में अपने घर जाना हो, कुछ मेडिकल इशू हो, कुछ हो, तो किस तरीके से कम्युनिकेट किया जाए, और ये बहुत ही मतलब चिंता की विषय है।
The Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi, the Indian capital, asked passengers to contact their airlines for updates on flights, while data from private flight trackers showed several flights had been delayed.
I think 1 घंटा से भी ज़्यादा हो गया, डिले है शायद। एक्चुअली फ्लाइट है ना 8:30 को आना था, बट स्टिल 9:30 हो गया, तो काफ़ी डिले हो गया है।
Delhi has already extended winter holidays for many schools by a week. Many private schools were to open on Monday. The city recorded a minimum temperature of 5 degrees Celsius on Monday. The lowest for Sunday was 3.8 degrees Celsius, which the IMD said was 3 degrees below normal for this time of year.
1.5 घंटा लेट है फिलहाल। असुविधा तो बहुत हो रही है। सबसे ऊपर जो ठंडी ज़ारा गिरी हुई है अभी के ज़माने में, तो बहुत असुविधा हो रही है।
The Indian Meteorological Department has forecast dense to very dense fog conditions over many parts of Delhi and northern and eastern states such as Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar until Tuesday. It warned that air, road and train traffic could be affected in the 2 days and people could suffer from lung-related health problems. It also said power lines could trip in areas with dense fog. A cold wave is declared in the plains of India when the minimum temperature dips to 4 degrees Celsius or fall 4.5 degrees below normal to 10 degrees Celsius or below. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Now look at some more news from across the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to hold a pre-budget meeting with economists and sectoral experts at Niti Aayog on Friday to discuss the state of the economy and measures to accelerate growth. The 2023-24 budget is set to be presented in Parliament on 1st February. The meeting will also be attended by several union ministers, according to a senior government. Supreme Court on Monday directed the centre to clear arrears under the One Rank, One Pension scheme to eligible pensioners of the armed forces by March 15th. This is the second extension granted to the centre to pay the arrears after it had moved the top court in June, seeking an extension of 3 months. The Bombay High Court granted bail to former ICICI Bank CEO and Managing Director Chanda Kochar and her husband Deepak Kochar in the Videocon loan fraud case. Chanda Kochar and her husband had claimed in their pleas that their arrest by CBI was illegal. The court granted interim release on bail to coaches pending hearing of their writ petition. Free food distribution of cereals during the pandemic has starkly reduced income inequality across laggard states and those at the bottom of the pyramid, according to a report. SBI EcoRap started the research with a hypothesis of how the free food grain distribution is impacting the distribution of wealth on population quintiles for the poorest of the poor. After 3 days in a row losing streak, Indian markets posted a bull run on Monday with Sensex and Nifty 50 rising by 1% each. Both Sensex and Nifty crossed their psychological mark of 60,000 and 18,000. Large cap stocks outperformed at the onset of the Q3 financial year 23 earnings season, with the TCS financial results being the first one. A healthy rally in global cues also lifted market sentiment. Indian origin Manpreet Monica Singh has been sworn in as a Harris County judge, becoming the first female Singh judge in the US. Singh's father immigrated to the US in the early 1970s. A trial lawyer for 20 years, she has been involved in numerous civil rights organizations at the local, state and national levels. Now time for a short break in the bulletin. Stay tuned on the other side for more international stories. Welcome back to the news. Let's now get you all the updates from the Russia-Ukraine war front. In today's development from the battlefield, a 60-year-old woman was killed and several other people were wounded in a Russian missile strike on a market in the village of Shevchenko in eastern Ukraine on Monday. Images of the area showed destroyed buildings, large piles of rubble, burning wreckage, and a large crater. The governor of the Kharkiv region said that all other victims were hospitalized and rescue workers were clearing the debris. A local official said that at least 3 pavilions were destroyed in the attack and a shopping center was damaged. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Sunday that the situation at the front line hasn't changed significantly in the first week of the new year. He said that heavy fighting continued in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions, adding that Bakhmut and Soledar were holding on despite everything. He added that the world has seen again that Russia lies, referring to a unilateral truce called by Moscow for Orthodox Christmas, pointing to Russian shelling of Kherson right after Christmas and strikes on Kramatorsk and other cities of Donbas. He said that no attempts of Russia to manipulate diplomacy and politics will ever work again. The Russian military claimed on Sunday to have carried out deadly missile strikes on barracks used by Ukrainian troops. Russian Defense Ministry said its missiles hit 2 temporary bases housing 1,300 Ukrainian troops in Kramatorsk in the eastern Donetsk region, killing 600 of them. Russia said the strikes were in retaliation for the deaths of dozens of Russian soldiers in a rocket attack in Makivka a week ago. Ukrainian officials denied there were any casualties. Now moving on to some other developments across the globe. At least 150 people were arrested after supporters of former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro stormed government offices. Police said the authorities took control of 3 main government buildings: the Supreme Court, the Presidential Palace, and congressional buildings. The incidents were condemned by world leaders who called it an attack on democracy. Here are more details.
Supporters of far-right former President Jair Bolsonaro invaded the roof of Brazil's Congress on Sunday in a grim echo of the US Capitol invasion 2 years ago by the fans of former US President Donald Trump. Eyewitness video footage showed protesters smearing white paint on the walls outside the congressional entrance and shouting slogans against President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The sight of thousands of yellow and green-clad protesters running right in the capital capped months of tensions following the October 30 vote. Bolsonaro, who has yet to concede defeat, has made claims that Brazil's electronic voting system was prone to fraud. spawning a violent movement of election deniers. The violence in Brasilia could amplify the legal risk Bolsonaro faces. It also presents a headache for US authorities as they debate how to handle his stay in Florida. Television images showed protesters breaking into the Supreme Court and Congress, chanting slogans and smashing furniture. Local media estimated about 3,000 people were involved. Bureau Report, Sansad TV.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed concern on the riots in Brazil and extended support to government authorities, underlining that democratic traditions must be respected by everyone. In a tweet in which he tagged Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, Prime Minister Modi said democratic traditions must be respected by everyone, adding that we extend our full support to the Brazilian authorities. The Prime Minister's response came hours after hundreds of supporters of Brazil's far-right former President Bolsonaro raided the National Congress, Presidential Palace and Supreme Court. President Lula condemned the riots as a fascist attack. Bolsonaro, however, denied any role in the violence. The former president, who left Brazil for US state of Florida, also defended the right to peaceful protest. Now look at the latest from the sports world. Jasprit Bumrah's return to action has been delayed further as he has failed to recover fully from his lower back stress fracture, ruling out the senior India pacer from the ODI series against Sri Lanka. After winning the T20 International Series on Saturday, a confident India would be expected to start the ODI series against Sri Lanka beginning tomorrow at Guwahati with a win. Captain Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli returned to the side. Star India asked BCCI for a 130 crore rupees discount in the existing deal, while jersey sponsor Buy Juices, which is on its way out, wants the board to end cash bank guarantee worth an estimated 140 crore rupees to honour the current agreement. Ousmane Dembele's strike sends Bolsonaro 3 points clear at the top of La Liga with a tense 1-0 win after Atletico Madrid. Barca were playing without suspended top scorer Robert Lewandowski in the game. Two-time Wimbledon winner Petra Kvitova beat the current All England club champion Elena Rybakina 6-3, 7-5 in the round 1 of the Adelaide International second tournament. It's a wrap of today's bulletin. Keep watching Sansad TV for all the news updates. Good night.